Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to Hunter x Hunter. It is episode 35, and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the parentheses dot parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode, so see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now let's see. A good episode, no question there. Split into two major parts. One a little bit more than the other. So we have one part about Hatsu training, and a smaller but very interesting part, the fight of Hisoka and Gon itself. So, however, let's first start with Hatsu and those subcategories that I just learned about. Thus, I cannot read these signs here. Don't know completely when you have this sextagon, I think it was. Which of those subcategories, abilities, is next to which one? Because he just counted them down, and the question is it just like that, or is it, moving like that? I know the specialist is in the bottom, and the, I think it was the... not manipulator, the enhancer is on top, as far as I know, and manipulator is somewhere there as well. But yeah, if someone could point out which one is on top, left side top, right side top, bottom left, bottom right, something like that, would help me, because I think it might be important and interesting for the future to see that. However, first things first. I realized in the beginning of this episode that there was this Spanish music theme for Hisoka, which I really like. And I will try to watch out if we have more like character-themed music. It didn't feel like that so far, but maybe they're changing that, and Hisoka has something like that. I mean, a little bit of his outer appearance, the satchel he's wearing, is feels a bit like that. Like Spanish Mexican, but apart from that, the character does not really seem to fit. Okay, yes, this little jacket on, but you know what I mean. I will look out for it. So, Hatsu. 6 subcategories. Enhancers, which is, in case of the water, was that you create more water, which we know now. Wing is one, which is interesting, and Gon is one, and a pretty gifted one, as it seems. Then you have emitter, which means that you can like push it out. It does stuff, let's call it that way. Problem is I had to write so fast, I'm having problems reading it myself. I don't know that one. Conjurers, so you can conjure stuff, which is cool. I mean, like, what would have happened if there would have been a conjurer? Would have something like a little water elemental appeared? I don't know. Manipulators and specialists, and I mean, the thing that is very unclear is the specialist for sure. I mean, it just says it in the name. It does not fit in all the other categories, so you're a specialist, so you have something that no one possibly ever saw before, something new and unique. I like this, and you always told me in the past episodes already that Nen is a wide field of abilities, knowledge, and how to use stuff, and it will grow more and more in wide and depth. But I already like it how they analyzed the different fighting styles we have seen so far, so that there was not only Nen usage, but now they even categorized the subcategories of Hatsu that were used. So to create a clone, you needed specific categories, and that is just the creation, right? So it is, I guess, summoning. But to move it, to make it act as you want, it is manipulation. Conjuring, sorry, and manipulation. And there was a weakness there because his main category was something completely different. So he had to put too much energy in, I guess, more for the training, for learning of it. But that's interesting to see. However, I would turn that around as well and said, still he was able to do that, and still he was able to create such an incredible effect and efficient effect. I mean, he could have finished off Hisoka in this fight. I still stand by that. So seeing that he was able to do that, I'm pretty sure that Gon and Killua somewhere in the future will be able to move away from their primary category, not only to the adjacent ones, but at least to the ones one farther away, and maybe, just maybe, even to the last one, which is more neither impossible from what we've heard. But I guess, why not? I mean, that puts you, if you have all of those categories really available to you, you would be very, very gifted, as they are, as we know, and you would have an advantage because you can do so much more. You have so more options and abilities. So, as I said, Gon is, I wrote it down, an enhancer. Zushi is a manipulator, which is cool to see. And Killua is a transmuter. So transmuter, I mean, that is something, if you can master it, he could, I guess, like go through walls as example, or punch through walls, right? As well. Because if you can transmute materials and you are fast and good enough, you could transmute it on the go. So if someone is, I don't know, hiding behind the wall, you could transmute this material and go through it. Or he could go over water if he transmutes at least a part of it to be harder, or just transmutes it to ice, right? I don't know if there's like a limit. It possibly will cost you a lot of energy, and in case of a floating river, as example, it would possibly not be so efficient because it just floats away while you transmute it. But we've seen him turning water into sweet water, like honey. So I guess this old Jesus trick of turning water to wine might be something he's capable of. While the enhancements, so take something that exists and enhance it and create more of it, that Gon has. I don't know, we will see. I mean, he could produce like his own clothing, or he could produce more water, more food as example. The question is, how specific can it be? Can it be just the raw material, or could he like enhance and thus create advanced materials like fiber, like plastic, steel? Or could he even maybe like copy something? So he takes an existing item and copies one. What I see, however, when I talk about enhancement, because I just thought about it and I look at this picture here, shouldn't he be able to enhance the length of his fishing rod? I mean, like, he does that and it just goes like endlessly, if more neither, right? That could be in a fight or anything like that, an efficient surprise and a cool thing to have. I see that as an option. And I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't be surprised if we would see that trick somewhere, because it kind of yells at me he has to do that. That was cool. So for transmuter, I already mentioned during the reaction, a cook would love to have the transmute skill, right? Because it's like you taste your food and it's like, bit more salt. Yeah, maybe a bit chili. Perfect, right? Why not? A cool thing. And for transmuter as well, let's say you're a tennis player, right? So you hit the ball, transmute it while hitting, and when the opponent wants to hit it, the ball is like steel. So it just rips through you. Whatever. Just saying. Or for soccer player, football player. You can use that for so many stuff. And if you use it only like partially, your shot will get harder in whatever kind of ball game, right? You don't have to make it into steel, that would be unfair. But it's just to give it a little bit more. Or pushing it a bit stronger. If your opponent is not really fluent in Nen, he will have a very hard time fighting against you in this game. Possibly like no chance. So, we've then seen, as Wing named it, Zushi is 1 in 100,000 or 10,000, something like that, while Killua and Gon are 1 in a million, or 1 in millions, multiple ones. They are really, really gifted, and you could see that by the fact that this, more visibly in case of Gon, that the glass cracked and there was a lot of water appearing. Although I guess Killua is on a really good level as well, possibly even comparable, because making water taste like honey, and honey is like extremely fragrant, very, very strong in taste. It's just not so visible. But that's very fitting. If you're an assassin or something like that, right? A shadow stalker, you don't want something to be so visible. So to have an ability that you cannot instantly see but does have an effect, nice thing. Just saying, you want to poison someone, there we are again with the cook. Nice one. And now, second part of this series, of this episode, sorry, the big fight. I kind of expected that they would not show us the fight yet. That they would be like they are marching into the arena and cut. You know, typical cliffhanger. But no, they did. And we learned a bit more. So Hisoka is 9-3, which means if he wins this fight, he's allowed to challenge the Floor Master, which I think he would possibly win. And if he loses, he drops back to 0 and he has to start again. Honestly, I think he does not care. I don't think he is about this Floor Master title. That's not in his agenda, right? So that would not be such a problem. But losing against Gon would be something, holy heck. I don't think it's possible. But he would be pretty hard pushed to try it again. I don't know how he would cope with the loss. I mean, there's a theoretical option that he is getting a loss just by points. I don't see like a KO victory or a clear victory, but something like by points might be possible if he is losing his temper, which I don't think he really does. We've seen it once or twice, but he was able to calm down. I remember this episode where he was like, I have to stand here now and calm myself down, because he was hot-headed, and he did it more or neither instantly. He took quite a while, but he realized it himself. So I guess getting his hot temper against him, we will see. But then, let's say he would lose, he would possibly try to do it again, because he wants to face Gon again. That is something he cannot stand. However, it clearly looks way more like Hisoka is the one winning, although we have a clear hit here. So, the beginning of the fight, the fact that he dodged everything without really much of a problem and even landed some hit himself. Where, by the way, I would have said those were clear hits and the fight would have already been over. Shows that there is a huge gap in their level, in their ability, as Killua commented himself. So, it's not about overpowering, you have no chance there. He's way better. Gon did the right thing, so he tried it with dodging himself, evasion, some feints, and in the end, bringing in additional stuff like the rubber, like the rubble, the material from the stone that he just smashed, so that Hisoka's field of view was blocked. And thus he was able to land a clean hit. I am still a bit surprised that he was able to land a clean hit, because Hisoka is able to realize where he is by Nen, I would say. Because we had that. You can realize the presence of people by using Nen. You can realize their aura. Sure, Gon learned how to hide that, but was he good enough at it? So, I give that hit to Gon, clearly. I mean, there was a really good and clean hit. But I'm a bit surprised that Hisoka kind of allowed it there, because the moment, I mean, you know that this rubble attack is something. It was just this one fact that Hisoka was not moving that made it possible. And Killua mentioned that already. He does not move, and that is the one chance. He is a bit too cocky, right? He wants to win easily, and he wants to kind of humiliate Gon by showing when he has won, which hasn't happened yet, that he has not moved an inch. Like, I was just standing here and I won, right? So, this cockiness did cost him here, so he will not be able to go on with that. We got the clean hit, I really liked it. But I question what is going to happen now, because it completely depends on how Hisoka is reacting now. I do see the chance, seriously do, that Hisoka will, like, do that, like, take off the blood, look at it and say, okay, you got a clean hit on me, boy, that was what it was about, right? I forfeit. I really see that option, that he is like, I don't care about the fight, I would win that fight. But it was not for me and for Gon not about who's winning here, it was about this one clean hit. Sure, Gon would be upset, right? But still, I see this option that he just steps out of the ring and says, victory for Gon. We all know he has different stuff to do now, right? That's one thing. However, talking about hot temper, it might very well be that he's like exploding and just says, okay, you hit me, now I will crush you. Although I don't think he is that way. There might be a bit of temper, but he will not destroy Gon. I really don't see that he is fighting Gon right now as a real enemy to the end. He is like taking the next step in training with him. He wants Gon to even be more, to be better than he is at the moment, to be a worthy opponent in the future. Because still, Gon is not. But he earned the respect and he earned the option to at least face him. Hitting that one punch in the face, possibly, we will see. I don't know. There might be a moment of anger and a reaction from him, but I don't think he will destroy Gon. So, I call that he will leave the ring. It would be cool. I would like it, and in my opinion, would fit the character very much. That's it from me this time. It was a good episode. We learned a lot new stuff about Nen, or in this case, especially about Hatsu. It's getting more and more complicated to keep that all in your mind, but I like the whole idea of it, the whole world of that someone thought so deeply about it, how it works. So, as always, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.